Hello.
Hello.
Oh, look it. We've got the first competition. Jeff,
Oh.
Pam, you were so close to beat Jeff.
But Zane was already here about 20 minutes ago commenting, so y'all are a little bit late.
Very, very true.
We also are trying a new thing. If you see me looking off to the side, we're also live on TikTok tonight. So we're just trying new things.
Yes. How does it look? I might like go over there really quick and check it out and see how
Go
you
check it
think it.
out. Go check it out and see what it looks like. Your husband sent us a rose. So thanks,
Aw.
husband.
He went live a few weeks ago while he was on the roof doing a solar job, and it was my first time ever spending 99 cents on TikTok to give him. And I was like, "You probably got 3 cents from my 99 cents," but it's the thought that counts.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like my husband that spends $1 a month to get our episodes on Friday, even though he hears us record them, for us to get 75 cents or whatever it is from Patreon. So it's the support. It's all that matters.
All that matters. We spend a little extra for our, people we love. So
Exactly. Well, welcome to our live. We don't have any special guests this week. It's just us. Sorry about that. Just get us this time.
just us. And, when it's just the 2 of us, oh, we talk about, like, the slew of things, just
Yep.
whatever's in the news, whatever's been going
Yeah.
on. Sometimes
It's
you'll
like
hear a few stories,
it's like true crime current events, We
which
can't say true crime daily because that's trademarked. So
yes, very true. And it's not daily, we only do this every other week. Sometimes
yeah.
with guests, sometimes we don't. It just depends.
Yeah.
I just pulled up an article because I was like,
Okay.
"Oh, let's figure out something we're gonna talk about 5 seconds before we start." But this came out 2 days ago from BuzzFeed, and it is talking about 5 true crime podcasts that are credited with convictions or exonerations.
Interesting.
I know. I was like, "Ooh, that would be good to talk about."
So give us the list. Who's the
Okay.
list?
So, of course, the number 1 on here is Serial, and Undisclosed. So that has helped
Well,
Adnan get out of jail and be freed.
which is
We ha
also a current event.
it is. And then we have Your Own Backyard, of course.
That's the
That
Kristen
case
Smart case,
that's
which he also a current event. He was just put to just sentenced.
exactly, like, it's all of these are getting wrapped up, and Whitney will and I will always say, the way things are going with DNA and the technology and the videos, like, you cannot commit a crime and get away with it anymore.
Nope,
The
not
next
anymore.
one was, The Teacher's Pet, which I listened to that one as well. Did you listen to that?
Yeah, but it's been so long and there's been so many podcasts in between the two that honestly, I've just they all kind of blend together when you start listening to only true crime.
I agree, but this one is an Australian investigator an investigative journalist. He highlights a case involving a missing woman who is believed to be murdered, though no body was ever found. Police had a strong suspect, and I'm trying to, like, even remember. It was the disappearance of, Lynette Dawson, and then they suspected her husband, Chris Dawson. Maybe I didn't. I really that is not,
I
like
have to to be honest, I have to see the cover art
yes.
to even remember. So let me see if
I
I
have
can
to
share my
listen to,
screen.
like, 3 episodes and be like, "Well, I feel like I've listened to this," and then I still don't know what's going on, but
Yeah, this is
I
what the
know.
cover art looks like for
I
those
yes.
that are visual like me.
Does it have anything to do with the Catholic Church?
I
I
don't
don't
think so.
I'm gonna have to listen to it again.
It looks a lot like, the picture that Shane shares a lot of, Sister
Yes.
Kathy,
Yeah. What is that documentary on Netflix?
The Keepers.
The Keepers, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next, podcast is In the Dark Season 2, which I haven't listened to this one. This one exposed one of the most aggressive and questionable prosecutions since the Central Park Five. Curtis Flowers, a black man from Mississippi, was tried 6 times by the DA for the murders of 4 workers at a furniture company. So, and he spent
Wow.
about 23 years behind bars, a lot of it on death row. But 6 times he was tried. That's
That's amazing. It was canceled recently. Well, recently as in May.
the In the Dark podcast?
Yes.
Oh, I wonder
Mhm.
why.
It says that it was just they were dissolving some of their shows, and that's one of them that they chose to dissolve.
Dissolve the ones that help get a man freed.
Apparently.
Gotcha.
Apparently.
That's a great one just to throw out.
Yeah.
Um, so and then we got Up and Vanished, which I know everything about Up and Vanished. I love
Yes.
Up and Vanished.
Mhm. That is a Payne Lindsay
Yes, that the Tara
Tenderfoot
Grinstead.
TV, production. That's the Tara Grinstead case, which, man, all of these are so recent because
So
they
recent.
just took Ryan Dukes. Oh, this is the problem with the same last names. I get them confused all the time. One of the Dukes just went to trial.
Yes. Yeah.
And our good friend Nina was there to cover the trial. She does
She
already
was.
gone, so she's just an amazing human being also.
Yeah, because Payne was listed as a witness, so he couldn't be there
Mhm.
covering the trial day in and day out. So he had Nina do it, and I was like, so exciting. I would love to be in the courtroom for that.
I just wanna be in a courtroom for any
I
trial.
know. Very true.
Sign me up for jury duty any day, please.
So this one, did you watch Once Upon a Time in London Grad? It's a
No,
6-part
I sure didn't.
docuseries. It's on Peacock, and I was trying to read what it was about, but
Maybe I need to re-up my Peacock subscription. I don't know. I probably still
I
have it. I probably haven't canceled it.
yeah, I don't have Peacock anymore. I like to go through my subscriptions once a year and get rid of a lot of them.
And didn't you do that this week?
I just did it this week. But yeah, there's a lot happening, especially with podcasts help
Mhm.
out there. It's amazing. They're doing amazing work. I'm just so proud of all of them.
Yeah. And one, it's not a podcast didn't help this per se, but another podcast connected to a very well-known case is Down the Hill,
Oh, yes.
which is the Delphi case, and
Yes.
that's been in the
Crazy.
news and just absolutely crazy.
Yes. It's nuts. There's a petition out there that's trying to seal. Oh my gosh, what's the legal jargon that they're trying to seal the information from?
It's the warrant for the probable cause affidavit that they
Probable
are trying to seal or trying to keep sealed.
Yeah.
And mainly because this is a very high profile case, there's been a lot of leaked information about this case already by a podcast, which was not kosher in my opinion. They leaked a lot of information that the police weren't ready to leak, that family wasn't ready to leak, and which I don't know if it helped or hindered this situation.
So I had just read something. I mean, not official, but someone had said that the police in Delphi actually thanked that podcast. So
Oh,
I never specifically heard that, um, but I don't know. I literally just read that like 15 minutes ago, and I was just like,
interesting.
huh,
I wasn't
I
sure. I
don't
know
know.
when it came out, there was a lot of drama and speculation around the podcast doing that and that whether it was ethical or not. But I
Mhm.
personally think that since the family has asked for that affidavit to stay sealed for their safety, I don't know what's wrong with my camera. It does this from time to time. It gets crazy. It has a mind of its own. Um, but I think that they need to take their time with this one and make sure it's done right. I mean,
I
I believe that for all cases, but this one specifically because we know Kelsey. We've met Kelsey several times. We just really hope that they can finally get what they deserve, the justice that they so desperately need.
Yes, I completely agree. We will find out everything. Don't you all worry. It will all
And
come out.
all in due time.
We're just gonna have to be patient. And then like once we know something, we can never unknow it, which is horrible to think about.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's a very I mean, obviously that has been a case since day one that we followed and
Mhm.
yeah, definitely
That
just
that
want them
is Delphi is Melissa's must solve case. Like, she's not
Yeah,
going to stop helping push for justice on that one until it's done.
yes,
And she said that since
exactly.
before we started this
Yes,
journey.
before we ever even thought about being podcasters, but
Mhm.
yes, and then I
Something that came
know,
out just the last, was it yesterday or was it today that he wrote that letter to the requesting a public defender?
it might have been like a day or 2 ago, I think, because I think I read it somewhere. I just never actually went in and looked at the actual letter until you sent it to me, which don't get me even started about when Whitney sends me this picture of this letter that the the what do we call them? I can't think of any words particularly. The guy that's been arrested in connection with Delphi. So she sends it to me. And it just so happens last week, I sent a letter to someone in prison. And so I thought it was him responding, and like Whitney had gotten it in the mail. And I was like, well, first of all, that was quick. Second of all, we can't get anyone a public defender. And I'm like, Whitney, don't even try.
Like Googling, how does one no.
Yeah. I was like, "He's not even answering my questions, but he wants
Yeah.
us to help him." But luckily, it wasn't that guy. Um,
Oh,
yeah.
hello. Cindy from Crime Diner says hello on our TikTok live.
Oh, nice. Hello. Um, I agree. I mean, police, if they could have given some small, it
Mhm,
might have been solved a bit quicker. The fact that that guy was in the town of Delphi. Whitney and I went to Delphi at what? I
mhm.
can't remember, a year ago
It
maybe.
was just over a year ago.
And he worked at the CVS. Did you read that the family was getting like crime scene photos printed at CVS, and he gave them to him for free? Like he didn't make
Yes.
them pay for it. And I'm like,
You
you,
processed them and then said, "I'm not gonna charge you for these."
yes. Like, oh, it's sickening to think about.
Mhm.
So yeah,
It
can
really
you
is.
sum up basically what the letter said if you have it handy?
Oh, well, I don't have it handy, but I can
Oh,
pull it up. He basically was saying that due to his status now that he is incarcerated and because of the public instigation of his family, now his wife had to quit her job and move out of their home for due to her safety. I guess they were getting a lot of death threats, if I could speak tonight. So his wife has now vacated their home and had to move somewhere else. He obviously can't work because he's incarcerated and he's not getting out anytime soon due to his extremely high and warranted bond. He's going to be in there for a while, so he can't afford a lawyer. And they were originally going to attempt to hire a lawyer themselves, but that's not an option anymore. So now he's requesting a public defender.
I never heard that he had kept copies. That is disgusting. Like,
I
of him.
wonder if that's what they found in his house. They
I'm sure.
did execute a search warrant on this property before arresting him. And I read that the police were there for over 10 hours while they stood outside and watched, while him and his wife stood outside and watched.
Are you
And
serious?
then he was arrested, I believe, the following day or a couple of days after, very quickly after that.
Because we know he did, whoever did it, because he is not convicted yet, um, took souvenirs, correct? So there are things from
It's
the girl.
speculated that he did take souvenirs because there were some items missing.
Mm,
I mean, if they found them, I don't know.
mm, craziness. Yes,
Yep,
very, very creepy.
absolutely. That one's just whew.
Do you have thoughts on if Keegan, sorry, I can hear echo a bit. If
Oh,
Keegan
sorry.
or his father is involved, which I can't, Tony, I think is Keegan's father's name.
Yeah, that is his father's name. I'm not sure. It seems like such a stretch,
Hmm.
although you get if you look at all the Anthony Shots stuff, you pull up the fact that Libby and Abby were supposed to meet this Anthony Shots person there. There had been contact through social media, through this catfish account. Um, I, I don't know. I potentially it could have been more than one person doing this to these girls that
Hmm.
did this. Um, but at the same time, I have not seen any sort of connection between this Richard Allen McAllen, whatever his last Richard, whatever his name is,
Alan, yes.
um, and Keegan Kline.
Well, I just pulled up an article.
But I've
It's
also I'm behind on my
I know.
research
I
on this
am as
one.
well. Yeah. That's what happens when you have to research for your own podcast. It's
Yes.
sometimes. So this article from the Daily Mail says that pedophile Catfish 28, who was linked to the Delphi case and has been accused of protecting the killer. He has been cooperating with authorities who asked for charges against him to be dismissed days after suspect Richard Allen's arrest. I thought I read somewhere that Richard had access to that phone or the Anthony Shots account as well.
Maybe. Maybe
Yeah.
it's a whole ring set up. I
And
mean, nothing surprises me anymore in this community, and as sad as that is, I mean, we just covered a case about, someone that's believed to have been trafficked,
mhm.
and it amazes me at how easily this happens. It shouldn't be this easy to take a person and take control of a person, and it shouldn't be that easy.
And that case that you're speaking of, she had been reported like down the road, blocks away for years. She
Mhm.
wasn't far away from where she was originally taken, but they did like these people, and it's almost like this. It's more than a system. It's like their business is to buy and sell people. They have
Mhm.
it down to the every nitty gritty detail, and it's disgusting and it's shocking, and I just don't know. I don't understand how you're like, when you're a little kid, you're like, I'm gonna grow up and sell people.
Oh, this is something we need to
Well,
talk about, okay? So, we follow Adventures with Purpose because from afar, well, from the outside, it seems like they're doing good. They have found many missing people. They have found many missing vehicles. They are doing good as a whole. And now this week, rape charges were filed against the co-owner, uncle. It's a whole family that runs that business, and rape charges from many years ago were filed, which there should not ever be a statute of limitations on sexual assault of any kind, and I'm glad that we're getting to the point where people can come forward however long once
mhm.
they realize that they need to come forward. I'm super excited that we are finally getting to a point where people can still come forward at any point after that assault, and that's coming out. If you've read all of the emails between them, he's like, sorry about you, get over it. And like we all were sexually assaulted in this family, you just move on. And I just something's gotta happen with that, and I feel like it's been pretty quiet.
Sorry.
Utah, she can claim them, but not Nevada, yes. Um, so
So,
that was in
and
Utah.
I believe at least 3 people have resigned from the company over all of this. I don't know if
Mhm,
that CEO guy has. These were other people that did not wanna be a part of Adventures with Purpose any longer. They're like, they don't know if it's true. Obviously, there hasn't been a trial or, an investigation. But based on the girl's letter and then his
mhm,
response, something criminal happened.
mhm,
So yeah, there's a lot of people within that organization that they're jumping ship. They're just like, no, we are not a part of this. I don't know what he
mhm.
did, but we're not doing it.
Yep, and he's 47 now. Supposedly, he was 17 at the time of the crimes, and she would have been less than 12.
Hmm.
So it's
And it was his
first
cousin.
degree rape of a child, and it was his cousin, and she mentioned, like, it happened more than once. It happened at a grandparent's house, it happened in front of other people, and apparently, based on his responses, it was something that ran rampant in the family to
Yes.
more than one victim.
Yeah, I think a lot of them were in and out of foster care as well, so like, their
Mhm.
whole family dynamic, something was really bad.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, I didn't hear about his sister yet. Um,
Wow.
ugh, I can't yes, the whole family, but just like that other, oh my gosh, that docuseries that, like, we were gonna talk about, but we never did a bonus episode on it.
Brittany
whole, like
Wood.
Brittany Wood, same thing. The
Mhm.
whole family is in on this sex trafficking. They're like selling their children. It's I have no words, and I have no words.
Mhm. Does anyone in the comment has anyone heard of the Brittany Wood trial or case? It's not a trial. She's missing out of Alabama, Mobile, Alabama, or Mobile area of Alabama.
Yes.
There is again on Peacock a documentary that covers her case. It's called Monster in the Shadows, and it is you get in, you start the first episode, and about 30 minutes in, you're like, oh, okay, this is a intro. Yeah, hi, Uncovered, our peoples. Um, you're watching this case and you're like, "Oh my gosh, this is horrible. She went missing and they're still looking for her." And then it's like the every skeleton in this family's closet comes out and there is
They have a
sexual
lot of
assault
them.
within the family. There's a lot of people think that they were prostituting her out or
Like her own
trafficking her out
family.
within the family.
Yeah,
Yes.
her own family was doing that to her. And her mom is very, like
Mom, aunt, uncle, it's a whole you need a diagram for the
you do.
complications in this case.
And there's a lot of, aunts that are married in that
Mhm.
had something to do with it, and then, like, one of the uncles ended up committing suicide, but then they really don't think it was suicide. It is, like, it's mind-boggling that this type of thing goes on.
Mhm. If you need a diagram, a really good place to go look for visuals on cases is uncovered.com. This is them right here. Go check out their Facebook page and their website. They're awesome. We work with them a lot. Love them. They do excellent work at visualizing different cases because like me, I'm a visual person. I need to see it all out in picture form. You definitely need a whiteboard, like full wall whiteboard on Brittany's case.
Yeah. It's like an ancestry, diagram of, like, the family tree, especially because
Mhm.
there's so many people. And you start off thinking like, "Oh, this mom's looking for her daughter," but then by the end of it, you no
You're
longer
concerned, yeah, you might think the mom might be involved. Yeah, it's a mess. There's
it's yeah,
lots of incarcerations, out of jail, in jail. It's a whole thing.
very much so,
Yeah.
very much.
What else is happening in our true crime
What
world?
else? There's always so much happening. It's absolutely crazy.
Mhm.
Okay, well, this isn't, real, but we got a fiction TV series. It's
This
only
is
4 episodes,
faux crime, not true crime.
and I'm sorry, but this show was the darkest show I've ever watched in my life.
Oh my god. Are we talking Inside Man?
We're go Inside Man. Oh my gosh.
Okay. Did you hear about the serial killer in up in Iowa
I
that
don't
was in the
think
past? I'm gonna need more. 'Cause I feel like there might be more than one serial killer in
oh,
Iowa.
6 days ago, an article came out about, a man named Donald Dean Studdy.
Wait, is this the one where the daughter's like, "I swear my dad's a serial killer"?
Oh, no, no. This one okay, yes. Yeah, so this one's it is that one. So, a woman, a year over several decades, they said that he had buried all of these women out by the abandoned well on his property. And now she's saying there's a lot, like 50, 60, 70. However,
Yeah.
did you hear that, like, a couple years ago, she came out with these same claims? And then there's an
Mhm.
older sister that said, "Absolutely not, th my sister's crazy." Um, but obviously, they're going to be looking. They did bring a cadaver dog out there, I know that as well, and it did pick up something, if I'm not mistaken.
Sounds like we need to get some, like, ground penetrating radar out there, and
Yes.
we need to go do a foot search out there.
It would sorry. I just keep
They are not
thinking,
sure his 2 wives died from natural causes. Well, that would
yes.
be something to look into for sure.
And I think, like, one of them they may have said, like, "Oh, she committed suicide as well." Um, but 2 wives, like, that's a little sus.
And 4 spots, that's not an accident. Like, I know that dogs are infallible, but I'm gonna trust a dog's nose real quick.
But then I think the sister said, "Oh, that's where they buried the stillborns." Like from them. I was like, "Well, isn't that illegal?" First of all, that's still not
Yeah,
okay.
okay, well, at the very least, we're doing, like, desecration of a corpse here, like, or
Exactly.
mutilation of a yeah.
So that
My mom wants to talk about this so bad,
what is
okay?
it?
She's been following this trial since the dawn of time. My mom is addicted. This is my mom, guys, if you don't know. She is obsessed with Law and Crime Network on YouTube. She literally
Okay.
sits and watches the trials all day long and hangs out in the chat rooms, which I absolutely love. It's super cute.
I love it.
And this one is nutso.
I don't think I've heard of it.
So basically, it's a family of 4 that brutally murders a family of 8, and the mom is, like, crazy. I don't even know where to start with this one.
Were they friend? Like, did they know? Like, this family know this family?
Um, I don't remember,
Okay.
but it's the Pike County Massacre is what
Okay.
it's
Let's
called.
see.
Um, let's see. Over the custody of grandkids. That's right.
Oh, crud! Don't do go live again on here. Oh,
It's yes. So Jake Wagner described Jake Wagner. There's Jake, Billy, George. There's so many. It gets very confusing. I don't know how we're gonna be able. I don't know how I'm gonna be able to explain this again without a diagram.
okay. So why
Um,
were the grandkids not with their parents? Wouldn't the kids just be with the
I'm
parents?
not. My mom needs to be on here to explain it all.
Maybe we should have her pop in.
Mom, jump on. Let me see if I can just get like
A synopsis of it.
yes, because it's a whole shenanigans. Okay, let's see. I don't know how. It started back in 2016. This is from Fox News, so take that as you will. 8 members of the Roden family were massacred execution style in their Pike County homes. The victims are Christopher Roden, Kenneth Roden, Gary Roden, Dana Roden, and their children, Frankie, Hannah, Christopher, and Frankie's fiance, Hannah. In 2008, George Wagner, Angela Wagner, George Wagner the fourth, and Jake Wagner were all taken into custody on aggravated murder charges with the possibility of death penalty. Well, I don't wanna watch the video. I wanted to talk about it.
I know. I feel like it's awkward when I'm watching a video while I'm online because I just
Nobody
accidentally
wants to watch me watch a video and talk about it, okay?
especially when
Let
I don't even see the video.
exactly. Um, 8 people were shot and killed in 4 different homes in Pike County near Peebles, wherever that is, 60 miles from Cincinnati. Their bodies were found later. 7 of the victims, 6 adults and a 16-year-old boy, were discovered to have been shot execution style in 3 adjacent houses, while the 8th victim was found shot to death in his camper nearby.
Mm,
Oh, I do know that some people were killed and 2 people were killed, and then a baby, like a 3-month-old infant and like a 18-month-old infant babies were left in the bed with their bodies.
mm,
Um,
mm.
2 infants were unharmed.
Oh. Jake's family didn't want the baby's mama and her family to get custody of
Mhm.
the kids, so they just killed them all.
Yep.
Wow. It's just crazy, crazy. I'd
Yeah.
like to say, like, the crime and the murders are absolutely nuts. Um,
Oh, yes, mom. Yeah.
what?
Mhm. Well, I mean, the baby was only doing what it knew to do.
Oh, oh, that's
Yeah.
sad.
There's a whole other thing, like, apparently they were doing, like, cockfighting, chicken fighting, and
Mm,
there's a whole slew of
other crimes.
stuff.
Yeah, because no one's just gonna wake up a day and be like, "Oh, yeah, I'm gonna go murder 8 people," if they're not already some type of criminals.
Exactly.
That I would hope that wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
Wow, weed
Mhm.
growing. Weed growing.
Mhm.
Wowzers. Yeah, that's a pretty nutso case. I
I
have
know
never heard of it.
we might need to, like, do a bonus episode on it
We probably
because we could
should.
probably do a good 2-hour episode on it. There's so much. They were absolutely upstanding citizens, can't you tell?
Ugh, that's craziness.
And in the statements in trial, the mom of one of the accomplices to murder, the
Mhm.
three of them, I think it's three of them, basically turned on George and said, we'll tell you all the information for a
Uh-huh.
plea deal." And George is the only one that said no to a plea deal, and so they're all like ganging up on
Are
George
you
now.
serious?
Um, yeah,
And
this.
so, okay, so the 4 family members that
uh
killed the other people, was it like a mom, a dad, and like an uncle, or we got like, or is it like 4 brothers? Do
I
you
know
know?
that Jake and George are brothers, and then I think there's a George Senior.
Okay, okay. It's just when you say family of 4, all I'm thinking mom, dad, and 2 kids. Like that's where my
I know
mind
the
goes.
mom is Angela. I know that.
Okay.
So there is at least one parent involved in this. I don't know if it's 3 kids or if there is a dad.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Victoria Martin's mom was sentenced today. I did not. Did you see that?
Who's Victoria Martin?
This is also a Facebook user is Eric from True Consequences. I don't know why when he gets on our lives
I
he
know.
likes to remain anonymous, but I like to point out that he's not here.
He's
12
well,
years.
I,
Victoria Martin. Hold
yes.
on. I got to pull it up.
Oh, she's just the little thing.
Mhm.
She was 10 years old. And this lady got, or whoever, she got
Mhm.
12 years for the
Mhm.
murder of her
Mhm.
daughter.
Yes.
Oh, dear Lord.
And she was dismembered in a bathtub. It was in
Wow.
Albuquerque. Eric's being shadow banned.
Wow. Oh, she accepted a plea bargain, but she just got like, well, I'm on Wikipedia, but it says
Oh,
guilty plea bargain accepted by Michelle Martins on June 29th of 2018, but then they still ended up going to trial.
yeah.
Oh, the
The
mom
mom
didn't
didn't
do
do
it.
it.
Sorry. Okay. Wow.
Apparently there's 3 of them.
Okay.
She
Let's
was
see.
negligent.
Witness saw Jessica Kelly carrying Victoria Martins to the apartment around 10 p.m. on August 23rd. Later that night, neighbors reported hearing screaming coming from the apartment. Shortly after, at approximately 4:30 a.m. on the 24th, Michelle Martin and Fabian Gonzalez left the apartment and reported to neighbors that Kelly had attacked them with an iron. After responding to a 911 call, police entered the second-story apartment building where they saw smoke coming from behind the closed bathroom door. Upon opening the door, the responding officers discovered the dismembered body of Victoria, partially wrapped in a burning blanket. She had been sexually assaulted as well, strangled, and then stabbed, and then dismembered.
Eric's our Debbie Downer,
But then
but we
he
love
says
him.
that. But then he says that, and it
And it
literally makes me
brings
laugh.
us back up.
Every
Someone just tried
time.
to join our TikTok live, but I don't know who they are, so I'm sorry I didn't see the notification.
What does that mean? Join.
I don't know, and they wanted to come on our live.
Oh, I didn't even know that's an option.
Clearly, we're experts in this. The shadow ban is making more sense.
But there's no way that you can say these things. I've got a bummer one if you guys want me to tell
If
you.
we're just gonna stay down, let's just stay down.
Stay down there. So that that woman that kidnapped the lady based on a Facebook post. The lady had like 4 kids, a fiance, and she was pregnant, and she wanted to get a job to help out her family financially. Looking on Facebook, someone responded. She met up with this lady. The lady's Facebook name was Lucy, and
Mhm.
then she was never seen again. They ended up tracking the IP address for
Mhm.
that Facebook account. Turns out this lady named Ashley Bush. No, no, Ashley Bush was the lady that went missing and then was found murdered. What is the not that it even matters. The lady like killed her and took her baby, pretended that it was her baby, and it was and then she told the authorities like, "Oh, my baby was stillborn." She even took the placenta and put it in her pants as she was going to get help for her having this baby, and I'm like, "Holy shit."
Okay, mom's gonna come on and she can tell us all about
Oh,
Pike County.
yay.
Well, I just sent her the link, so give her a second.
Okay. Oh, you didn't hear about that one, Eric?
Yeah,
It's
Eric, that one's nuts because there was a big thing. A lot of people were pushing her missing flyer for it was she was missing for a couple of days, I
a
think,
couple
two
of days.
days.
Just a few days. It's out of Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
And the lady, I just and the husband says he had no idea, nothing, but I think things are coming to light that he may have known after the fact and helped get rid of the body.
Yeah,
So
it's
it's
nuts though.
so sad. And she had like little kids like at home.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. It's horrible. I can't believe it.
It's unreal. Taylor Parker that Zane's talking about, same thing. Killed a woman, cut a unborn baby out of her body to try to steal the baby. Baby died. Also, she was sentenced today.
Mm, crazy. Crazy, crazy. I think a Oklahoma man was did they I know they had an execution planned because he killed his daughter. I think she was only like 9 months old. But I don't know if it actually yeah, it did go through. They did execute a man on the 20th.
Um, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine.
Oops.
I
It's insane.
I
I
I ask this question daily.
I like to pretend that it's because we are surrounded with all these horrible stories because of what we do, and that's why we're like, "There's no way that there has been always this many murders in the world, like, this many bad things happening." But, no, it's always been here. We're just
Hmm.
maybe a little more immersed in it now.
Definitely more immersed in it now. That's for sure.
The
The
internet,
internet,
yes.
100%.
Social media, all of this crazy stuff that people it all gets out now. So people just need to stop committing these crimes because you're gonna get caught.
Yes. Speaking of that, Othrum's doing amazing things at helping identify people and catching people.
Very true. What was their last one?
Oh, um, sorry, mom. Her iPad cannot support it because she has like an iPad from probably 1920. She's like the iPad 2.
Okay, I get you.
Sorry, mom. We'll upgrade you soon.
Yes.
Um, the most recent one that I know Othram had a hand in was the Lady of the Dunes, and
Oh,
we covered that just at the end of this past season.
yes.
By her DNA, and she was found. It was in Vermont on these sand dunes. Her body was laid on a blanket, and she was just left there. Yep, Cape
Mhm.
Cod. It's mine from 2002, probably. It is. It is from eons
That's
ago.
such a mom thing.
Ah,
They get
um,
the hand-me-downs.
I'm so glad they finally put a name
I
to
know.
her. Uh, she was known for, or not really, she was well known in the area. They tried to identify her for a very long time, and they thought she was actually an extra in the movie Jaws.
That's right. I remember you
Uh-huh.
telling me that.
She was seen as an extra because that's where they had recorded it at that same time.
Yes.
But they finally identified her. I'm pulling her name up now because I don't want to get it wrong. Ruth Marie Terry, and she was from
Mhm.
Tennessee.
I love the name Ruth.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And did they ever say if she really was an extra on the movie
I don't know that there's any way
to
to tell
tell?
that. I
Mm,
mean, I don't think that there was back then where they recorded on that. They didn't even sign waivers.
yeah.
They just had a stand up that said, "There's filming. You may by passing this sign, you are consenting to be in this film." Essentially,
Mhm.
and that was it.
Hmm. Yes. Did they say what she was doing in the area? Like why she
Let's
was there?
see.
Because if she was from Tennessee, and was she there with other people? Now I have like all the I haven't even looked into this since it came out, which I you told me about, but
Yeah. So in February 16th, 1974, under a different name, Ruth Marie Terry married a Guy Rockwell Moldovan in Nevada.
mhm.
And then July 26, 1974 is when they found her body
Hmm.
in Provincetown, outside of Provincetown.
Hmm.
Back in August, they solved the case of Anna Kane. She was 26, was strangled to death.
Hmm.
Perry Township. There's just if we had more time and more labs and more money to do this, we could close so many cases just because technology is there. The technology is there now.
I mean, or just figure out how to make the testing cheaper or,
Yeah,
easier to
or
test,
that.
that kind of
Yeah.
thing. Um, and it's coming, guys. It's coming. There's no way it's not. It's really gone leaps and bounds over the last decade.
I
So
wonder if we could talk Jeff Bezos into like donating every third paycheck.
I don't think he would do
Maybe like
that.
one day a month, one day of earnings a month. I
Oh,
mean, that's like $6 billion.
that would be insane.
I
Insane.
I I feel like he wouldn't be losing out much if it's just
I
one
know.
day of his paycheck, you
I just
know?
I want to know how much does it cost to get one one test, one DNA,
Yeah. We need
and
to
then
ask David.
who's David?
David Middleman, the guy from Othram.
Oh, yes.
I can text his wife, or I can message his wife. We're friends on Facebook. See if she can give me, like, a price breakdown. We need to have her on.
Yeah,
She's
that would be nice.
beautiful. She's, like, super pretty.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, what else do we got here?
I don't know.
I don't
Y'all in the
know.
comments, throw us out something. Give us some.
I mean, I think we touched on it before, but my mind is still boggling over the 4 men in Oklahoma that were killed and dismembered like by one man apparently. I don't even know yet. You've heard about that case, right?
This is the one where they were on the bikes, right?
Yeah, a couple of them were riding bikes. They had planned on doing some criminal activity, and they only know this because some of their friends that they were going to do it with like came forward and was like, "Oh, they're planning on doing something." Well, it was like broad daylight. They're like walking, riding their bikes, whatever. And then they go missing, all 4 of them. And these are like construction worker, bigger dudes. I mean, in their
They're grown ass
20s.
men.
Yes, in their 20s. We're not talking about craziness. So they're missing for a couple of days. They end up finding their bodies slash body parts in a nearby river. The one of the guys that was murdered, his phone is found on a scrapyard. Um, but they really couldn't find anything else. The owner of the scrapyard had he was either charged or convicted of shooting someone in the past that tried to rob or steal something on his property. Well,
Mhm.
he ends up taking off. He steals a car, he leaves, they can't find him, and then, of course, they're like, want him for questioning. They end up finding him, of course, in Florida. They arrest him on the stolen car charges, and I don't think they've done anything else yet, but he did waive his extradition rights, or so that they're bringing him back to Oklahoma now. I don't know if anything else has happened since then, but it is absolute. Like I don't even know how
But
one
it happened
person.
in yeah, and it happened in a super small town, like
Yeah,
11,000 total people.
yeah, it's so that town's probably like 30 minutes from my parents, 30, maybe 45 minutes. All Oklahoma towns are small, unless you're
Mhm.
talking about Oklahoma City or Tulsa. That's all you got.
Yep.
Everything else is tiny. Yeah, very quiet town. Um, yeah, like just absolutely insane.
It couldn't have just been one person that could
Yeah,
overpower even at gunpoint, because they did say that there was gunshot wounds on the body, but they weren't sure of the manner of death yet at
yep.
the time of this article, that I just quickly pulled up. Um, but
The
one person, even at gunpoint, I feel like couldn't overpower four grown
I
men.
know, because as soon as one shot went off, like if it was me and another, I would try to tackle him. He can't shoot all four of you at the exact same time. Can't.
Yeah, or run and then
And
to dismember a body. Yeah.
four bodies. Like that's even like how much time would I'm like, I don't even know. Um, the police chief of Okmulgee, that's the town, he said he's worked over 80 murders in his career. He said that he's worked murders involving multiple victims, worked with dismemberments, but he said this case involves the highest number of victims and it was a very violent event.
I mean, you're right, Zane, depending on the gun. If it's like, a assault rifle or a
That's true.
semi-automatic, I mean, that could be very quick. But I still feel that even stopping and threatening 4 men before, unless they snuck up on, I don't know.
I
We don't
know.
I wasn't there.
Yes, because you would be brought in
Yes,
for questioning.
and I
Yeah,
don't lie well, so they wouldn't have let me go.
yes. Not well at all. That's just crazy. My mind is just baffled about like what's happening lately.
Mhm.
So many crazy ones.
So mom's talking about the suitcase trial now. Now, there's a couple of different suitcase cases out there right now. Are we talking about the Las Vegas s- suitcase that was found with a child in it, or the one where the girlfriend put her boyfriend in it and he died? Because there's two different ones. Sarah Boone. Okay. Yep. She talks her drunk boyfriend into getting a suitcase and leaves him in there.
Yeah, and Winter Park is very close to where I live as well. Oh,
Mhm.
I don't even know what to think about that one. I don't.
And here's the thing, they're drunk and playing hide and seek. And that's where my questions begin, because I've never met an adult that plays hide and seek without children involved. Maybe it's fun and games for
But
her.
then wasn't she angry with him though as well? And that's like why she was
She put
like
him in
it
the
was like
suitcase, zipped it up, and then was laughing at him as he was
yeah,
freaking out.
like it was like his punishment or something
Mhm.
I read at one time. And these are not like young people. Like she was 42, 42, or she is 42 years old.
Mhm. They do have a history of domestic violence against each other.
Oh, yeah.
And
His name was, oh, never mind. I can't even find it.
Jorge George
Yeah.
Torres Jr.
Yeah. They were drinking wine. And then she went upstairs and she states she passed out in her bed. She woke up hours later to her cell phone ringing. And then she realized she forgot about her boyfriend inside the suitcase. And when she unzips it, he was unresponsive and not breathing. She does call 911.
Mhm.
Deputies arrive and he is confirmed he is dead. She's facing second degree murder
She
And it
pushed him down the stairs in the suitcase.
oh, she did that too?
That's what my mom just said.
Well, then this is not an accident at all.
Mm-mm. Nope.
Oh, I
Yes.
know. It's and I mean, I love it when Whitney and I get to chat about these cases, but when we're on our 10th one of mystifying, oh my God, what is wrong with people? I'm like, we're in the wrong line of work. Holy
I
crap.
just like there's just no
There's no end.
question.
There's no end in sight of all these
Like,
absolutely
yeah,
insane things happening.
it
So
is. Uh,
I
live video.
I think I saw a video of her
Mhm.
laughing and him saying that he couldn't breathe. Oh
Mhm.
my God. I could not imagine. That's like being buried alive in my mind, like being stuck in something that small, not being able to breathe. Oh,
Oh, she said on the video that they found on her phone, he's pleading for help, screaming her name, and she says, for everything you've done to me, F you, stupid. That's on you. That's how I feel, or that's what I feel like when you cheat on me."
see, I thought I read somewhere that she was punishing him as well. And that's why, like, he's supposed to be staying. Because why would he get in there in the first place? I'm sorry. I don't trust people. My own husband. Sorry. Yeah.
Nice.
Sorry, Chris, you
Um,
never can put me in a suitcase. First of all, it
and
wouldn't
sh
fit. But
also that. She was also charged back in July of 2018 with battery by strangulation. So that's already a MO of hers.
see, and this should be first degree in my mind. It was premeditated. She did it on purpose.
Yep.
Ugh, craziness.
There was a temporary injunction for protection in place at the time. So they shouldn't have even been.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a story about y'all's childhood
I'm
unlocked.
assuming so.
I have questions
I know.
about that comment.
I was trying to think, like, the last time we went on a trip, the 4 of us, I was like, "Did anything happen with the luggage?"
Well, I think the last time it was all 4 of us, well, that was Vegas. I don't think
Mm,
anything happened with the luggage that day.
hmm. So, Pam, are you gonna be watching that one?
100%. She fluctuates between, like, 3 a day, whatever law and crime is on that day, and she hopes that they're not all on the same time zones because some go to lunch break and then she can switch to the
Oh,
next one, and she's even got friends in the chat room. It's the absolute cutest thing I've ever seen in
it
my life.
so that's my a question. Um, is most of the trials now, are they, live? Are they on the internet at all times? Like, or is there certain ones that can be while other ones can't? I don't know the rules for that.
I believe unless there is a court order saying that it can't be, then
Mhm.
it's just if who wherever Law and Crime can be, or whatever streaming service. Law
Mm,
and Crime is just the most well-known one.
okay.
Now, there was sections like, say, this Pike County murder. When I had surgery there last week, my mom was here taking care of me, so I got to partake in some of this trial action, and, she what is it in scales? I am hooked. Something's I don't know what that is. Okay.
It looks like a
Um,
needle, but
it does look like a needle. Uh, so we were watching the trials. They gave Angela, which is Georgia's mom in this Pike County massacre, the
mhm.
opt in or opt out, and she opted out. So they had no audio, or she wasn't on video. So they would show like the back of the attorney's head, or they would just zoom in on like a painting on the wall, or something along those lines.
But you could hear it.
No, there was no sound because she opted out, so it was just quiet, so
Oh,
they were just talking in the chat room. Now when there was breaks, whoever there was someone, like, in the audience that would come in and be like, "Hey, this is what happened. This is what was said. Blah 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 blah." But
Okay.
it's not live streamed. I don't know. I don't think every trial is that way because look at the Duke's case. That
Mhm.
was on Law and Crime and a local other thing that you could hear everything.
Oh,
So I think it depends on what motions are filed by the attorneys on whether or not it is allowed
okay.
to be broadcast. Like this Delphi one, I'm going to assume they're going to close the
I would
courtroom.
assume that.
I would hope that they close the courtroom because there's no way.
Yeah. I'm gonna start listening. I'm, like, really excited about this. I mean, yeah. Oh my goodness.
Oh, and they can listen to the notes on Law and Crime podcast after. Which
Okay.
they were remember they were there at CrimeCon with us. They were catty cornered from us.
I know, yes, I remember.
Yeah.
Huh, interesting.
Mhm.
I might have to catch one of those and check it out.
I do throw it on like when I'm cleaning or something.
Mhm.
Throw it on the TV because you don't necessarily have to look, but it will show, the evidence, whatever they present, it shows it.
Oh,
Unless they've got some sort of weird plea bargain like with Angela where she's like, "I don't want to be on TV." And they're like, "Okay."
wow. Okay,
Have
yeah.
you heard of this case in Utah where a YouTuber found bodies and missing persons case is now being charged with rape in Utah? Found bodies. Is this crime
Oh,
theories? Is that Adventures with Purpose?
yes, I think that's what they're talking about.
I didn't hear that it was one of the kids he found, but I also didn't know they found any living people.
Yeah, I didn't I thought they
I
just
thought they only
found
did diving stuff.
yeah. So, man, I'm gonna have to, like, look into that if they're
Now I gotta
finally
dig deeper. Yeah.
yes.
The
It's
problem
a
with a
crazy
lot of
thing,
this just freaking rabbit holes on every single one.
and once you get started with one, you really can't it's hard to switch over because you just
Yeah,
go in deeper.
exactly. Well, I mean, we're getting close to the end.
We are.
If any of y'all are in Atlanta, we will be there in a couple
We will.
weeks.
Yeah, it's gonna be coming up quick, December 3rd. We still have some tickets available on
Mhm,
Eventbrite.
mhm. Eric will be there. That was just in our
Yes.
chat. Nina from Already Gone will be there. Lainey from True Crime Convos with Lainey.
Mhm.
Um, Corpus Delecti. Music City 911.
Oh, I
Crime
didn't know
Lines.
Brandon was going.
Brandon's coming up. Both Brandons, Brandon Hall and Brandon Schixnader. Southern
Yeah,
Gothic. I cannot
Southern
say his last
Gothic.
name.
No.
Are you guys going to CrimeCon in Vegas? We did go to CrimeCon in Vegas. This year it is, or this next CrimeCon is actually in Orlando.
Yes. So, we'll
Um,
be around.
we'll be around somewhere. Melissa doesn't live far from there, so I'm just using it as an excuse to get to Florida.
Yes. So, we might be doing a meetup, but I do not believe we'll be going to actual CrimeCon.
Exactly.
We'll have something fun planned.
Yeah, with a lot of other podcasters, it'll be a big thing. It's always a big thing. We'll be at a hotel bar somewhere,
Yeah.
probably.
So, if you guys are there, let's definitely meet up.
Mhm. What else do we have going on?
Uh,
That's really it for the rest of
we're
the
in a
year.
calendar.
We're in a calendar. Why do I keep forgetting that we are in a calendar?
Well, I cannot I've ordered them, and I can't wait till they, get in, and I hope
Right?
it's good. Like,
I'm your
it'll
traveling
be
Mimi.
nice.
Mimi is our traveling Mimi. I'm just going to hire her as like a full-time nanny. She can come with us to everything and just, be our hype person. She's part of our entourage.
Yes. She just cracks me up. She keeps us young, which is
She does.
love it, love it.
She does.
Zane,
Thanks,
thank
Zane, for coming
you.
by.
Yes,
Yes.
we love chatting with you every week.
Every other week
Every
we
other
will be
week.
not next week because we're actually going to be 2 weeks out because the next time we are scheduled to be on here is Thanksgiving and nobody wants to spend their Thanksgiving with us. Spend it with your families or loved ones or in a turkey coma or whatever you choose to celebrate. Football, not football, ham, turkey,
Um, So are
dessert
we going to the first? Would we be back, or
probably.
that's well, and that's like a day before we meet up in Atlanta. So,
Yeah.
all right, that sounds good. All right,
Maybe
thanks everyone.
maybe we reach out to all of the people that are gonna be in Atlanta and see if we wanna do, like, a mega live, and all of us go live on all of our stuff to push it one last night.
Oh, that would be a good idea.
We might need to reach out to them and see
Yeah,
what they're doing.
yeah, I think that would be a good idea.
Yeah.
All
Well,
right,
everyone have a good night.
bye.